I can't hear anything, Alex. Okay.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whatever time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide Online Toastmasters Club. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leaders Worldwide is designed for politicians, business leaders, nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, as well as anyone who wants to make their message heartfelt and authentic. Core values, integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We are Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Good evening, everybody. Let's welcome our president, Rosemary Sweeney. Rosemary?
Yes, I'm right there. Thank you so much. I was looking for the button. Thank you and welcome, everyone. This evening, we are going to have an amazing meeting. We have amazing speakers who are going to thrill us with their presentation. At this time, I noticed we have one guest. We have a guest who is part of our family, so we have decided she's one of us. She will make it official when she's ready. But Toastmaster Sudha, am I pronouncing your name properly?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, this is Sudha. I'm a Toastmaster since 2 years. Then I have joined a Spell Wizard. Now I'm president of the Spell Wizard Toastmasters Club, which is also online. So I'm here to learn and listen to all you great leaders. Then I just works in an MNC at Bangalore, Tamil, India, in Infosys. That's it.
Okay, then thank you so much. And we hope to see you again. Please do come again. At this time, I will call on our Toastmaster of the day. This is a lady who eats, breathes, not only Toastmasters, but pathways. She is in love with pathways. And if you hang on to her, you will be just as in love because she does great things within the path, the objectives and paths of pathways. At this time, let us welcome Toastmaster DeMarie.
Thank you so much,
welcome.
President Sweeney. Did we not have two other guests, Judith Ferber and
Judith is
Lou
part
M?
of us now.
And there's someone named Lou. There's someone named Lou M. That's on this the agenda.
Lou M.
Yes.
Toastmaster Lou M, can you speak at this time? Okay. Can you just tell us a little about yourself?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm happy to be. Yeah, I'm Tabili from Malaysia, but I belong to the Toastmasters Club. All, and yeah, I'm very happy to be part of you today. Thank you so much.
And we welcome you.
Back to
You're
you.
really on the other side of the world because most of us here, it is evening time. For me, it is very late, but for some, it is not so late. And for you, it is morning. That's amazing. Then we have Toastmaster.
It's
Yes?
yeah. Thank
Okay, we have Toastmaster Kuma. We have to think, yes. Sometimes. Okay, but at the end of the meeting, I will be calling on all our guests to tell us what they think about our meeting and how can we improve our meeting. So at this time, I will hand over the virtual lectern to Toastmaster of the Day, Dee Marie King. Let us make her feel welcome.
Thank you so much, President Rosemary. And I am excited about today's meeting because we are off in a new month. And the theme for the month of March is Women's History Month. So the theme for our meeting today is his story is also her story. And what I used were the pronouns HIS for his and added the word story, and HER for her and added the word story. We always talk about history, but she has a story as well. And that story is her story. And the month of March is devoted to helping women to tell that story. The theme for the month of March is women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that theme was coined by the National Women's History Alliance. So we are in keeping with the theme that they have for Women's History Month. And I would like to now have our grammarian, Sally Reyes, introduce her role and the word of the day. Sally?
Thank you very much, Dee Marie. The word of the day is resilient. And it's a terrific word because it means you're capable of changing whatever habit you have, whatever mistake you made, you can snap back and correct it and be on your way to more success. So resilient is one of my most favorite words. And I will be checking out your speeches and errors and repeats like yeah, and or, and all those unnecessary words that some people pause and spend too much time and waste at least 30 seconds that they need. So if we get rid of the small words, we'll be really happy to get back to a successful delivery of our most important speech. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dee Marie.
Thank you so much, Sally. I've noticed your resilience at all of our meetings when it comes to being the grammarian. You come up with something every time that has us all spellbound. So thank you so much for being resilient.
Thank you.
And next, I would like to have our timer, Judith Ferber, explain the timing for prepared speakers.
The prepared speeches, I see it's all 5 to 7 minutes. So I am going to show this since Cynthia likes my flowers. So I decided to do the flowers. So here is the green for 5 minutes. 6 minutes is daffodils. This is a daffodil time here, at least in California, wherever you are. That's what the season is now, and I love daffodils, and I have them actually in my apartment as well. And then 7 minutes you have red. And then you have 30 seconds to complete your speech. And the same thing with table topics is 1 minute, 2 minutes, and no, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. That's right. Timing is not an easy thing to do. 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes is the red. Evaluation is, where are we? 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and 3 minutes. Let's find the red. And then you'll have 30 seconds to complete all these speeches. And I will report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That was very spring-like. The flowers just seem so resilient. So yes, that was.
They always.
Yes, absolutely. As you can tell, I'm trying to get that word in wherever I can, okay?
I don't know who put grammarian on next to my name, but actually I am not a
You're
grammarian.
the timer. Absolutely. I have no idea who did that. I can assure you that I did not.
No, I know. I just wonder. Oops.
As we move along with
That
our
was me,
first,
sorry.
we'll introduce our first speaker. And that person is Alex Baelish. And since I'm going to be his evaluator, I will tell you that Alex's speech is coming from Dynamic Leadership. It's a level 1, option 1, an introduction to vocal variety and body language, and it is 5 to 7 minutes. Alex Baelish, why is 1% so hard to change? Why is 1% so hard to change? Alex Baelish, the mic is yours.
Well, 1 second here, guys. Sorry, I had an issue with my thought things were the right size and they're not. There we thank you. Ready, here we go. Sorry, I got that. I want everybody to think about New Year's Eve in New York City, where it's cold and the ball is ready to drop and you feel the energy in the room. And all of a sudden, you feel that hope and that cold, because I've been there. And then all of a sudden, the clock strikes 12. And everybody, right before it goes, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. And you find yourself texting your favorite friends, your friends and family. My wife, she loves to get the old pots and pans out and makes those little noises to get all the bad stuff away because she's Scottish. And you find it yourself in a place where anything is possible. This is your year and you're going to make that change. But then the next day comes and you wake up and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, what did I do? I stayed up too late. I might have had an extra drink. When is the Rose Bowl parade on? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I want to ask you a question. How much is 1% when it comes to change? Can you put it in a bag? Can you find it off a shelf? How big of it is in a hard drive on your computer? You know, I was looking at this and I'm trying to say to myself, what do I do to make a change? Because when you think of New Year's, the one thing we always think of is New Year's resolutions. And I have my own personal struggles that we're going to talk about, but let's take a look at those dreaded New Year's resolutions. And when you think of them, you think January is the month of new beginnings, right? It's sponsored by Dressing on the Side. I'll have just water or decaf grande latte with a splash of nothing. With a nod or a show, how many of you have ever thought about doing a resolution? I can see by the nods in the crowd, pretty much everybody. And the problem with New Year's resolutions is they're great. You want to make that change. You want to stick to it. But at the end of the day, whether it's a couple of weeks, a couple of days, you go through this whole roller coaster of things, ups and downs. And then that little thing in the back of your head says, when you do break that resolution, I told you so. But the allure of that New Year's resolution is like a light at the end of the tunnel. But it could be a train. For me, I'm looking to adopt a new, healthier lifestyle and maybe shed a few pounds and get my black belt. I have these ambitious goals. I'm going to be as resilient as I can. And I'm going to have this dramatic change like something out of a TV show. You know, I was reading James Cleary, the author of Atomic Habits, and I saw it on the University of YouTube because that's where you get all your information, right? And he talks about if you could just change 1% 1% in your life every day, at the end of the year, you'd be 37 times better than you were before. So making these small changes, I mean, come on, what do I have to do? Not have so much sugar, maybe do a flights of stairs, maybe skip a meal. I think I can do this. This will be effortless. But then as the roller coaster goes up, it comes back down, right? And my daughter, she's a Girl Scout, and we have like a 5-foot wall of cookies in the beginning of the year. And the problem is, it's like a tornado that comes in and the eye of the storm is there. And that's just one challenge that we have. And everybody hates those roller coasters. But as James Cleary loves to say, it's about marginal gains. And where do you get those marginal gains? He talked about the British cycling team, where they changed everything from the way they tie their shoes to the way they put their glasses on to the way they sleep. And they went from zeros to heroes and became one of the best cycling teams in the history of the Olympics. So one of the things that I'm going to be looking at is I have to think of my mindset. What is my mindset? Having short and long-term goals, breaking those existing habits that are not as desirable, and my social environment. I have to make sure I'm around people that are of the same mind. And I think if I can do that, I can make those marginal changes, I think, like a dripping water on rock, I can chip away at it. And staying positive is the key. You know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of our greatest presidents in America, said, all we have to fear is itself. And I think that can apply to every part of our life. And if I can get through that fear, I really do believe at the end of the day, I will not only get to this goal, but that 1% will make me go as far as I can, because that consistency will make it all better, and I can overcome anything. I'd like to thank you and have a great night.
Thank you so much for that, Alex. And could the timer give us 1 minute on the clock? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Timer. And before we move forward, I would be remiss if I did not share with you some phenomenal information about our speaker, Alex Baelish. He was so great in his delivery, but I want to tell you that he is an owner and lead trainer at Care First Training Group, LLC. Alex is a deeply passionate person about providing others with life-saving information. With over 30 years of experience in the field of first aid and CPR and AED certification, and training thousands of students, Alex possesses a strong understanding of his customers' needs and how they most effectively learn these life-saving techniques. In addition, he has been podcasting for many years on TV shows as well as with his 8-year-old daughter during book reviews. So she doesn't just produce Girl Scout cookies. She is a daddy's girl, it sounds to me. Let's give Alex a round of applause. And now our second speaker is none other than yours truly, and I will allow Alex to introduce me since he's my evaluator.
Got it. Just give me 1 second here. Now, Miss DeMarie, you got to get on the camera here. So DeMarie Shy King is the area director for 5 clubs in the Bay Area in District 57. She's a 2-time Triple Crown winner in 2022-23 in 2 different districts. She is a published author and poet, a mental health professional, and legislative lobbyist for the mental health. She is an organizer of the International Summit for Survivors of Domestic Violence and a certified domestic violence facilitator and founder CEO of Victory Over Violence, LLC, where she is a global advocate for survivors of domestic violence. DeMarie is going to be speaking for Pathways Dynamic Leadership Level 4, Managing Change, and her speech title is Anatomy of an S Hero. DeMarie Shy King, Anatomy of an S Hero. Take it away.
Have you ever had the privilege, the honor, the awesomeness of knowing a shiro? Yes, a shiro. All you do is add the S in front of hero, and you're talking about that female person who has done some tremendous things. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guest, I have the privilege of, first of all, defining anatomy. Anatomy means the makeup. What does this thing consist of? What is it? And I will define shiro. Shiro is the female version of a hero. And that's someone who is brave, who is selfless, who is courageous, and who will sacrifice just to help out a fellow man. I'm going to share with you tonight how a shiro can contribute and not receive the accolades, but that doesn't matter, because to a shiro, it's all about the compassion, the sacrifice, and helping your fellow man get the job done. I'm going to take you back to August of 1963. You've heard this before, but there's a side of this that you don't know. In 1963, the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. left the National Mall having given the greatest speech of his entire career. But how did that come about? I want you to understand that a shiro was involved in him delivering that speech. On the day that he was at the National Mall, the crowd wasn't paying him that much attention, and he had the benefit of a shiro, a devoted friend, someone that he trusted, someone who had integrity, someone who he believed in and listened to. And she was watching him as he attempted to pull the audience in. And she thought to herself, she actually carried on a conversation. Oh my goodness, he is really struggling. I have to do something. Are you sure you want to get involved in that? I think you just need to chill. Yes, but I'm watching him. He's going to fall on his own sword. Having debated with herself, trying to decide, what do I do? I need to help my friend. She stepped out and became a shiro. She began to walk across the platform. And as she did that, her stomach was feeling queasy. Mahalia Jackson wasn't sure if he would listen to what she had to say. Imagine the doubt that she had in her heart. But she knew, regardless as to what the consequences were, she had to make the move to help her friend. So she walked over to the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and said, "Tell him about the dream. Tell him about the dream, Martin." She stepped back and she paused for a moment because he didn't immediately say anything. And after he thought about what she said, the next words to come out of his mouth were, "I have a dream. I have a dream today." Her heart just sank. She took a deep breath, and she was so glad that she had stepped up, stepped outside of her comfort zone to help her friend. Do you know any Shiros? Do you know someone who would put their reputation, their life, their livelihood on the line just to help a friend? Do you know someone who is courageous? Do you know someone who is brave and who doesn't mind taking that chance, taking the risk, because all they want to do is assist that other person? Maybe you know someone who is an instructor, a school teacher, who spends time with students and will go the last mile to make sure they understand that 2 and 2 is 4 and 3 and 3 is 6 and all of that, because we all have to do what it is that we need to do to get our message across. But you also may know someone who is a doctor, a medical doctor, and she sees her patients with compassion, with expertise, determined to make the best outcome for that patient. And let's just get real. You probably know someone in Toastmasters who is a mentor, someone who is a coach, someone who is in leadership that will spend time with you, making sure that you accomplish what you have set out to do in Toastmasters. These women are called Shiros. Now, let me just say that there are times when the Shiros feel, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I've just done it, and I'm not trying to brag about it." And I don't want you to feel that you have to brag about it. I want you to acknowledge and understand that Shiros walk among us on a daily basis. If you know a Shiro, the next time you see her, compliment her, pat her on the back, and say thank you, because that's all they're asking. And let's take it down to the very basics. The mother of children, the sister in the family, the wife to the husband, these are all Shiros. They make sacrifices every day to see to it that the goals and objectives of the people they love are met. And then they feel this deep sense of satisfaction. They feel resilient because they've watched people rise to the occasion. And yes, I say resilient because sometimes being a hero is taxing, but you really you dive deep down inside to pull out that energy that you need to face the next challenge. That's called resilience. So Shiros are resilient, they are brave, they are courageous, and they can be your best friend. If you know a Shiro, tell her that I said hello. Back to you, Madam Timer. So can we have 1 minute on the clock, please? Thank you, Madam Timer. I did mention earlier that the National Women's History Alliance dubbed this March 2024 as Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. This is what they wanted to name the month or have everyone pay attention to. But it's also designed to bring about positive societal change. We need to eliminate biases and discrimination from our lives, our institutions, and our places of work. And we can do that by just being compassionate and considerate of our fellow man. Think of it as that golden rule. I'll do unto you as I would have you do unto me. And that takes us all to a level of being resilient, of being considerate and compassionate. And next on our agenda is Cassandra Garabedian.
Table topics.
And she will be in charge of our table topics.
All right, this is the fun part where everyone gets a chance to participate in our table topics session. So at this time, I'd like for some of our members to show our guest how we actually run this part of the session. So what I'd like to do is, I would like to call upon one of our members. So can I get one of our members to take on a question?
I can try.
Okay, who's that?
Rosemary.
Okay, Rosemary. Rosemary, my question I'd like to pose to you would be, being that the month of March is for Women's History Month, I would like to ask you, we know about the famous women that have been in the forefront of the movement. You can select one of those women, or it could be a woman that's important to you, an everyday woman. What woman has been inspirational in your life that you would like to honor this month? And can you tell us why this woman has been inspirational?
If I were to just think of myself, I could say my mother. But my mother was very inspirational in my life. However, there is this woman who decided that she would adopt children. She started with her 2 children. She had 2 children, and she will tell you that their father did not support them. But because of the way she felt that the father did not take a part in her life, whenever she met children who were in need of assistance, she not only assisted them, but she took them in. And at one point, she had over 30 children living with her. And she nourished those children, took them in, and not only fed them, but ensured that they got a proper education. And in her passing, when you listen to the stories those children told, that in going in with her, it was a very warm and friendly atmosphere because she did not have much, but she ensured that they got what they never got from their parents. And they were boasting about her. So she's one lady I would honor this month as Women's Month. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Nurse.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Rosemary. You know, that reminds me of my mom. The lady that you just spoke about remind me of so much about my mother, those two women, they knew something that a lot of us don't know. And we can take lessons from those two women. They knew they held the secret about children, about the love of giving to a child. So thank you for that story. Next, I'd like to call on who do we have? Any volunteers? Let's get one of our guests, and I'll alternate. Do I have a volunteer from one of our guests?
Sure, I'll be taking up. No,
Great. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for taking one of the questions. We have mentors in our life. We have professors. We have teachers. We start out in elementary school, then as we go through the intermediate school and so forth. Is there anyone that you can say when you were going to school that had made an impression upon your life that you can think of that was instrumental, that impacted your life in a way that you can say? Teacher, instructor, and such was.
Sure. In this topic, I'm really privileged to say this very much because my mom and my father are teachers in profession. So it's one thing that I can recall that I took my inspiration from my father many times in many situations. That's the one thing I wanted to highlight. But there is one more another side of it is that when my mom is a teacher in the school where I studied, right? The people where I'm studying with the schools and all, right? I had a very negative impact on me because they were finding I am a competitor. My mom is a competitor for them, right? So I was not treated well in terms of educating me, in terms of guiding me. So I didn't get such a great mentorship or a relationship with other teachers. That was another side of it. But still, I had courage. I have developed a lot of inspiration, courage from my father that has helped me overall in my life journey. So one thing I wanted to highlight is I got very much inspired. I didn't do very well in my school days. I don't know why it is. Maybe I had a very bad reading habit or reading impact or something. So I didn't do very well. In school day, in college day, when I went to my college, I have took the course preferred by my father only. You should go to the computer course. You should do this graduation in computer science. He said, so I just went and I joined it. But only thing he said, see, when you go to college, you can't find this kind of school type of teaching. Nothing they will teach you. They will just give you some information, all those lecture on it. You have to do a research. You have to go to library. You have to take a book and you have to read by your own. That is the only thing I followed. Still now, that has really helped me a lot. So I have really discovered my reading ability and I'm good in my subject, stronger. That's why I did very well in my college days. And I have topped in one of my subject as well in my college day. I have took a challenge. I have went to library. I have took a lot of books in those days. Nowadays, we can get all the information through Google or YouTube. But in those days, we had a very little access to the libraries only. So that's where I learned a lot. So only inspiration is my father. Over to you, Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that. You're absolutely right. We didn't have the access to like Google or the computers the way we have now. We had to go to the library and actually go to microfiche and all that type of thing and actually do the research. So it's very much different. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay. How about another volunteer? Anyone? I will select someone. how about Cynthia? Are you available?
There.
Okay, great. Here you are now, an adult. But when you were a child, it was something totally different. We actually had to listen to our parents. And so now, as an adult, I want you to go back and talk to that 10-year-old or that 12-year-old self. What would you tell your 10-year-old or 12-year-old self? What advice would you tell, or what comforting, what healing, whatever, what would you tell that child now?
Whoops. Let me admit somebody to
Or
the
you could be graduating from high school and about to go into, college, or you want some advice on what classes should you take, should you major in, whatever period you want to go back to. But what would you tell that person now?
Well, whether I was 12 or 10
21 or 17
or 16 or 21 or even
you pick it.
37.
It's all up to you.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. That's a great question. No matter my age, it wasn't until I was 40 that it changed, or almost 40 when it changed. No matter my age, I was a scaredy cat. I was terrified of everything. I had 7 strong phobias. And so I would go back to my 10-year-old self, 7-year-old self, 12-year-old self, 16-year-old self, 21-year-old self, and say, don't worry. You are very resilient, and you don't have to be afraid. I know you're terrified. I know you avoided going to the laundry room in the basement of your college dorm because there was a giant spider that was it was a fake spider, but it was a giant spider on the wall. You don't have to be afraid. And one day you are going to be so courageous. You're going to lead a drumming troupe, 25 of them in front of Pier 39 in San Francisco. You're going to go to a bungee jump, 17 stories, diving down and swinging up and loving it. You're going to have so much courage. You don't have to worry about being a fraidy cat now and scared and, oh, I will never be able to do this or never be able to do that. Because you will. You will, my dear. You will be courageous. And people will never even imagine that you were a scary cat at one time. So be resilient. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Wow. All right. Love that story. Love you going back and having the courage, what Dee Marie talked about. Having courage, someone holding you up back to back and saying, we got you. And you stepping off in that faith and saying, okay, it's okay. And knowing that on the other side of that, you're going to be okay. It's okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Do we have
I
enough
think
time?
Rohan just showed his video. Maybe he will speak. Rohan.
Okay.
Could do one more, Cassandra.
Okay, sounds great. Are you willing to take that, lead us off and tie us up on this one? I'll give you one more here.
Yeah, I didn't raise hand, but if yes, I can take.
Okay, sounds great. So we have men and women coming together. And in my family, we used to have this saying that Men are the head of the family, but women are the neck that move the head. Your mom raised a gentleman. Your dad showed you how to be a man. How do you combine the two so that you become your own man? So that you have your own family. Now you're the head at your table.
Yeah. Year 2008, I was trying for Indian Armed Forces and I had appeared for the examination 10 times. Cleared the examination 10 times, but got failed in the interview 10 times. And at the age of 24, I was hesitating to get money from my father, from my mother. And my mother, she was very smart. She just felt that I was hiding something. He said, son, why are you not demanding money from my side? I said, Mom, I'm 24 years of age and still I'm not able to earn a single penny. So I feel that I'm a burden on you. She said, if we can take care of you for 24 years of age, why can't we keep it for 2, 3, 4, or complete life of yours? And those words really motivated, moved me. That yes, I have a family, I have a mother who takes care of me. And from that day, I didn't get that feeling that I'm a burden. Whether I was jobless, but yes, I had that feeling my mother was there. Now, second part, the father. Fathers are normally not very expressive. They're not expressive. They are like the silent workers. They just keep on working. They just keep on working, but never tell you how they feel. And I never hugged my father. You make me sit with my mother. I can talk for 24 hours without stopping. You said, ask me to sit with my father. I'll 30 minutes would be more than enough. I will get out of the woods. But yes, if you ask me today, when I'm a parent of 2 kids, I feel whether it's a mother, it's a father. What matters the most is the connection with your parents, with your sons, your kids. Whenever they feel now, we can just ask them, we can feel what they feel, and I can put them myself in their shoes. So, as my father and my mother had some different roles in different style, I am adopting the combination of two to be a better father. And I hope that my kids will love the of me, father out of me. Over to you, table topic master.
That is wonderful. Thank you for that. Completely understand. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, for a wonderful, rousing round of Toastmaster table topics, and the responses were just phenomenal. And Ruhan, that was absolutely wonderful. It really was.
It really was.
And we started out with the theme of the day being his story is also her story. And Ruhan just summed it up. The mother and the father in a family work together to raise their children, to offer them the understanding of how to be resilient once they get out on their own. Absolutely. So his story and her story do merge. And in so many instances, the best of each individual is brought out when the his and the her become one. At this moment, we're going to call on our general evaluator, Cassandra Garavedian. The floor is yours.
What a wonderful, wonderful meeting today. We had just wonderful speeches, wonderful responses to the table topics, questions. Everyone I felt gave heartfelt answers. The meeting started on time. I was really pleased that we had people to come in to take on roles. It was just a fabulous meeting. I'm appreciative to our guests that came in that were right on with the being participants, were engaging. They participated.
Cassandra, we have the evaluation part.
Oh, and as far as the evaluations, I wanted to
Yes, let's not forget, there's another section to this whole meeting.
Yeah, we didn't do evaluations yet.
thank you. I will call upon, I'm just so pleased about what's happening on here, but I'll get back to, I just jumped over the part where I'm supposed to call on for the timing of the
Correct.
of
Not
the
yet.
speeches,
Go ahead.
and I'll do that. But I just want to say that I'm really happy that what has transpired on the speeches and the whole bit meeting.
Okay.
Now let's get back to what Judith was talking about. Let's get the timing on the speeches, please.
Oh, the timing of the speeches. I thought we are going to do the evaluation. Okay.
No, we're doing evaluation. We should be doing evaluations.
Evaluation.
All right. Well, all right. I can tell you the timing of the speeches. Alex was 6:20 and Marie is 6:54.
Okay, now the evaluations.
So thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I am evaluating our first speaker, Alex Baelish. I love the way Alex starts this speech off. Every time he counts down with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like, oh my goodness. If you weren't paying attention, by the time he gets to 1 and you can hear or see that imaginary ball fall, you're there. You're paying attention. And if that weren't enough, he picks up this pot and starts banging it with a spoon, running off the evil spirits. You know your house is cleaned out after that. There's nothing evil hanging around because he just got rid of it. Those two things, starting his speech off, in my opinion, are totally necessary in order to engage the audience in what he's saying. And he does that in such an engaging way. His eye contact was good. He talked about new beginnings, and that fit in perfectly with the fact that he had just had the countdown on New Year's Eve. And he used the word resilient, the word of the day. I heard him use that. He offered great suggestions on how someone who goes on a diet is going to make that diet work, cutting back portions, watching what they drink, making sure it's water instead of something else. But then he said he got caught up in the eye of the storm. His daughter brought this huge mountain of cookies, and they were sitting in the house just waiting for him or whomever. That was a challenge. He said that if you really want to make gains, you can do what he calls marginal gains. And this was from Arthur Cleary that talked about marginal gains. You have to set long-term and short-term goals in order to understand and see what those gains are. But he said that all of this comes with your mindset. Once your mindset has changed and you understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, all of it is made easier. He also mentioned the saying by former President Roosevelt, all we have to fear is fear itself. I've always liked that. And I think that fits into this perfectly, because take the fear out of it, go for it. And if you can do 1%, by the end of the year, you'll be 37% better off than you were, according to Alex. So I think that is phenomenal. If I were to offer any stretch goals at all, I would say, I thought you were standing until you finished speaking, and then I realized you weren't. So okay, well then that's great. I can't offer that. The speech was great, and I know you're going to be doing this as you continue in your triumph to the next level with speech contests. All I can say to you is good luck. Go out there and nail them, be resilient, and show them what you can do. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Now, grammarian.
No, I still have to do my evaluation.
Go for it.
Okay, I just want to make sure you know. Okay. So Dee Marie, I love the speech. I love you. You have great presence on the stage, so to speak. Whether it's a virtual stage or in person, you had great vocal variety and hand gestures. And I love how you brought back part of another speech to reinvent it into this speech. I loved how you took that one piece and weaved it through your new topic. I think that there's something to be said. You created your own word. If it was already created, I didn't know, which I find really fun. I think when I introduced it, I didn't do it justice by saying it right, but I think it made it even better because I didn't say it right as a guy, because then you kind of corrected me. That said, you know, I think if I could offer a stretch goal or something that you might want to consider, is the beginning of the speech with Dr. King is a great part of the speech, but I think the meat and potatoes is a little bit further along. If you shortened that and made the other part a little bit longer, I think it could be an even better speech. Not that it wasn't good. I think it could be even better. I think also that, you always take the time to make sure that you have your accuracy for your topics. And you really talked about the dynamics of leadership and management, because that was part of the project, was to talk about management, to talk about, taking that chance, going outside of the chain of command, and in this case, by saying something to Dr. King, and then how that can apply to a whole bunch of other people in their lives. So all in all, I think it was great. And I hope that you actually will work on it some more so that you can present it on other venues as well. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator, or
General Evaluator.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know who we were going back to. Sorry. I'll get out of here. Boom.
Now, Grammarian,
Yes,
Miss Sally Reyes, I've been wanting to get you up on this podium, so now it's yours.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we had two words of the day, actually, because one of the resilient was played with and enjoyed. Cynthia and Dee Marie had 7, and Alex also. And but the other word was a shero, and Dee Marie used that like 11 times, and it was darling, because I think it's a good way for us to celebrate the other side of the hero. So thank you. I enjoyed hearing all your speeches. Resilient was a popular word, and we could always remember to try to change 1% and see where we can end up. Thank you so much for your speeches and enjoying the words.
Thank you. And now for our timers report, Judith.
Yes. Table topics. Rosemary was 1 minute 34 seconds. Sudha was 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Cynthia was 1:53. And Rohan was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Evaluation, Demarie was 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and Alex is 2 minutes and 12 minutes. That's my
Thank you so much, Judith. Really appreciate you. And now I'll give the podium back to our Toastmaster for today.
Thank you so much for your general evaluation. We've got to hear from all of your functionaries, and I will turn the meeting back over to our president, Rosemary Sweeney.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all my, okay, thank you to all our functionaries and our speakers, our resilient speakers who answered our table topic like they were waiting Cassandra's awesome questions. And at this time, I'm going to call on our guests to tell us what they thought of our meeting and whether there's anything we can improve on. We are always thankful for feedback. And so our guests, let us start with, oh, she jumped off, Ruin.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes,
First
you
of
are.
all, thank you very much for giving me a chance to attend your meeting. It was really nice listening to the Mary's and Alex Telly's speech, and it was really engaging, and I felt a part of the meeting throughout this meeting. And it's all good. You're going great. I don't have any suggestions for improvement, and hoping to see you in the next meetings also.
Thank you, and we will be looking out for you. Now, Toastmaster Kuma. Sure. Are you there? No. Okay. What's your name? Subhadra. Are you there? And correct me if I did not pronounce it properly. Please.
It was it's okay. It's nice. Well, I mean, sorry. You pronounced it correctly.
Thank you.
I joined the meeting late. I think it was almost after the table topics. So I'm not really eligible to comment. But I like the way Rohin Sharma responded to your question, table topic question. And I enjoyed the evaluations. Thank you very much. Have a nice
Okay.
day.
Thank you. Welcome and come again. And Judith, you will end it for us in our guest section.
It was great. I loved the women history speech. I thought it was really wonderful, and somehow I thought that I may have heard that story of the woman who was telling Martin Luther King tell the dream, but it was really a wonderful speech, and I really enjoyed that. That was really, really very nice. Thank you. And table topics is really fun. And resilience, that sounded familiar. Anyway, it was a great meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And yes, you have heard that story from the person who said it this evening. It's just that she gives it a lot of twist and turn. So you listen and listen. And when you hear, tell that story, tell them about that, then you know, hey, I heard that. But before you hear that, that's like the chorus of the story. You do not know you were hearing that story you were hearing already.
Yeah, that was so well done.
Yes, it was well. So at this time, I will call our meeting to a close, and we can ask our, oh, there is Cassandra. Yes, Cassandra, our Vice President Education.